Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's final front load for a month and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're going to that horrible world known as the JRC, but before we do the usual disclaimers, if you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, you're going to find all the pertinent links right there in the description box. Please, in particular, take note of the article written by NeuroClastic, a small non for profit started by autistics for autistics. In it, they interviewed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so called behavior modification program. The Judge Rothberg Educational Center didn't want you to read that article so much. They threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. Well, folks, NeuroClastic refused. You know the drill. Read that article. Share it on all your social media. Also included in there is NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding just in case the JRC ever does decide to see through of that threat. All right, folks. Trigger warning one: when we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center and Agape Boarding School for Boys, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Trigger warning two: this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We use profanity on occasion and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and they are watching this, very obviously parental supervision is advised. Now, please excuse me if you see me rubbing my back. I kind of like killed it myself this morning doing exercises, so apologies, all right? Okay, so where we left off, right? In addition, based on its site visit, the INSEAD criticized JRC for inadequate monitoring of AEs, partially precipitated the corrective action requests. Slam and the shade. I love it. Right. The fact of the matter is, because of that INSEAD report, the other concerned groups in regards to that school also did an investigation and determined that it definitely needed some corrective action requests at the very least. Which means what INSEAD provided in regards to evidence was taken seriously enough that corrective actions requests have been made. Okay? You don't get those type of requests if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and what you say you're doing. Without inadequate monitoring, JRC's statement is not pervasive when it says that it shows no evidence shows ESDs cause the collateral effects. Thank you. So if you are not monitoring your folks properly, particularly when staff are administering those shocks, then you cannot legitimately argue that there are no collateral effects. You know? Because if you're not watching all of the time, how the fuck do you know? And considering that we know that the JRC believes that somehow if a new violent behavior comes out as a reaction to the insanity they force us to endure, they don't think that that's a collateral effect. That's your behavior, and that's why you're on this device. Not the fact that the reason why I'm aggressive is you put me on a human shock collar. That would make anybody feel a little bit violent. Even the most peace loving of us might have some words to say, at the very least. Adequate monitoring is necessary to instill confidence in such claims. Exactly. Given the reasons in said, it required the statements, the consistency with the literature and anecdotal reports. That's what I was talking about, that consistency, folks. Everyone's telling the same story. Granted, you can have a situation like Manson's where you have people all telling the same story, but absolutely the stories get ripped into itty bitty tiny shreds when brought up to the least bit of scrutiny. But this is not the case here with the JRC. We've got all the evidence, documentation, documents, psych records, video surveillance footage. We have everything short of Roadrunner with an Acme sign. All right? So, given the reasons in said required the statements, the consistency with the literature and anecdotal reports, the fact that the JRC ultimately included the statements in its documents, we continue to regard this information as evidence of risks. Which means because you have to put in there that this is a risk because it's this little thing called the goddamn law, they're going to continue to view it as evidence until proven otherwise. And the fact of the matter is, folks, the JRC cannot. If more video surveillance footage gets out, other than what happened to Andre McCollins, and there's not pitchforks and torches, that's it. That's the last shred of hope in humanity that I hold left, and it's on a hanging by a thread, and the thread is fraying. Okay? Just saying. We're gonna go ahead and close out. I know it's a short one, kids. I apologize, but it's stunk upon time. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. You know the drill, folks. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe. Don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Smelling Tea hope you have a good one. I will see you next month. Woohoo, vacation! Yes, that means Silver Dollar City. I regret nothing.